Hi everyone, my name is Ananya and I'm a product manager here at Salesforce focusing on your IDE experience and Einstein for developers. Today I am so excited to be here talking to y'all about Einstein for Developers, which recently went into open beta at Dreamforce this past year. For those of you who aren't familiar, Einstein for Developers is an AI assistant tool designed to help you be more productive while you're completing tasks within your development environment. And we have a ton of new innovations here to show y'all today. Now, as always, we really value the feedback that you provide us, whether through Release Readiness Live or elsewhere, and these are really the key pieces of info that we use to decide what to build next. So, to start off with, we have three main areas that we are releasing new features for E4D. So first up, we have clear guidelines to help you write more effective prompts within the product. So for many of y'all, you're often looking for a little bit more direction in how you should go about structuring your prompts and including the relevant pieces of information. With our recent releases, we've put out clear documentation and guidelines showing you exactly what type of info to include within your prompts to get the desired responses you want from Einstein for Developers. The next two pieces are items that I'm super excited about that y'all have been asking for a while now. So first up, we have test case generation for Apex. We've heard from many of you all that testing is a first-class citizen. You want to support it, but oftentimes it's hard to get started with. So we've given you a new AI-enabled feature allowing you to get started with writing test cases for your Apex code. Next, we have inline code completion. So now you can supercharge your existing development processes by seeing lines of code completed while you're inside of your editor going about your day. So why don't we take a look at all of this in action with a demo. So today I'm inside of Code Builder. For those of you who aren't familiar, Code Builder is our web-based IDE. This went to GA around Dreamforce of last year. And the great thing about Code Builder is that you have access to all of those great tools you expect from your desktop, including the ability to code, debug, test, work with those CLI commands from right here within your browser. So now that I'm inside of Code Builder, I will be working inside of my Dreamhouse project today. And this is an open source sample app that is maintained by our wonderful developer advocacy team here at Salesforce. So the first step to working with Einstein for Developers is going to be making sure that you have the extension installed. So I'll head over to my marketplace and I can see here that I've not only got Einstein for Developers installed, but I could even update it to the latest version if I wanted. Once you've checked that you have the extension installed, you want to hit this Einstein sidebar icon. This goes ahead and opens up the sidebar for you. Here you can go ahead and write in prompts with natural language instructions describing the tasks that you're looking to complete today. Now, one thing that's really important about writing these prompts is that you want to include all of the relevant information about the tasks you're looking to complete. And this also includes any metadata that you happen to be working with. Behind the scenes, what we're doing is ensuring that all of that relevant metadata schema is taken into account when we're working with our LLM to generate those responses for you. So to help us on this task, the first step that you'll need to take as a developer is to first run a command called refresh S-object definitions. And essentially what this does is it pulls down all of the relevant custom objects or standard objects that you need to be working with for your task today. So once I've run that, I can go ahead and add in my prompt here. And you can see here that my prompt is quite descriptive. It's explicitly calling out the API name for the objects that I'm working with, and it's telling the model exactly how I want to use the class and what types of best practices I'd like to see followed. So now that I've got my prompt here and I've run refresh S-object definitions, I can go ahead and hit ask. Behind the scenes, Einstein is hard at work coming up with the response. Now, the first thing that I notice here is one of the newest features that our team has put out, which has given us the ability to have syntax highlighting in the generated responses. So this makes it way easier for me to understand and read the code coming out. And you can see that in the response, we've even correctly identified the different fields that I happen to be working with for the object that I specified. That's great. And we even have with security enforced mode. Okay, so now that I've gone ahead and I've worked on my latest functionality for the Einstein sidebar, I want to showcase our test case generation feature. So let's say that you're working inside of a class. Today I'm working on property controller, and I've already got this method that I've gone through, written everything out for, but now I need to generate a test. So the way that you'll go about doing this is by going ahead, right-clicking, and hitting this Einstein generate a test command. Behind the scenes, what this is doing is it'll check to see if you have an existing Apex test file associated with the class that we were just looking at, and if you don't, it'll go ahead and create it for you. This is a live demo, so occasionally we don't get the full response in there, but we'll go ahead here and again, just run that same command, and we'll choose that same method that I was working with earlier. And now that we have the test file created, it'll just go ahead and auto-populate that new Apex unit test for me. Now this test looks good, so I'm going to go ahead and hit accept. And just like that, I've got a little bit more Apex code coverage. Okay, now last but not least, I want to show off our inline code completion capabilities. This one is one of my personal favorites because I get to stay in my existing workflow while taking advantage of these new AI functionalities. So here I'm going about what I typically do with my OR-enabled annotation. I'm going to create my new method here. I'll add in the parameters that we're working with. And from here, I can go ahead and start seeing completions generated for me from right there inside of the method body. Now, if you want to go ahead and hit accept, you can tab and see those completions being accepted, and it'll continue to give you more completions based off of the tasks that you're looking to complete. In this case, I'm pretty okay with what we have so far. I might go in later, add in a little bit more, but for now, I've gotten in that initial scaffold of the method that I was working with using our new inline code completion capabilities. So I know we talked about a lot of different things today. We got a chance to see those more effective prompt writing guidelines in action. We got to see our test case generation feature and inline code completion. So now I think is a great time for us to go back to Mohit. Thanks, y'all.